There once was a man named Gold Roger who was king of the pirates. He had fame, power, and wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Before they hung him from the gallows, these were the final words he said.
Our perspective is yours for the taking, but you'll have to join us first. We left everything we debated at the Yonko table.
Ever since, pirates from all over the world set sail for the Grand Line, searching for the Yonko table, the table that will make their dreams come true.
Yo, everyone. That is the voice of your Yonko host, DrJaceAttorney. And today we are talking about one of the biggest deep dives for the DC cinematic universe that we have ever probably done on this podcast for the Yonko table. James Gunn basically dropped a Kevin Feige bomb earlier today, and he basically gave out a full breakdown of what to expect for the next 8 to 10 years of the DC universe, specifically in terms of how it relates to television, movies, video games, animation. I mean, he did the full 9 yards. We're going to deep dive each project that he mentioned today. I'm actually really excited about it, but you want to know one person that's not excited because he does not like anything DC is fellow Yonko Grandmaster Hoop. Grandmaster, are we only here for Quantum Mania? Are we only here for MCU madness?
No, and I've never said that. Y'all just like painting a false narrative.
Are you saying we are the fake news?
Y'all are fake. I'll tell you that much.
Well, go tell me about it. Like, you know, the DC, were you just unenthused with the news? Were you just kind of like, but it's nothing Marvel? James Gunn wishes he could pull a Kevin.
Listen, again, you're spreading
I'm
falsehoods.
asking. I'm not saying.
Well, you make it sound like I gushed at the last time Marvel had a giant announcement. I did not gush. I did not. I definitely didn't.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty positive. I did not gush because, again, it wasn't much of what they showed wasn't new, so I didn't gush. And then with DC, when it comes down to it, you know, they have a bad rapport. So it's like some of these things we've heard people talk about for plenty of time, and I will be more hyped when I get trailers, when I get casting, when I get, you know, just it's moving forward. Announcements don't do much for me anymore. You'll get more out of me from trailers and that stuff, but those other things that I just mentioned, they're definitely more hyped than just announcements alone. Announcements alone are not enough. Now with all that said, some of this stuff that's been announced has caught my attention, and I do like how he expressed what was going on with some of these projects, and I like what I had to hear. But I'm not over here gushing, but there are some things that I like that he said, and we will talk about it.
Where is Dr. Mondo or Kame Chris when you need them?
I don't know what you want from me. I don't have to. Whoa, you want me to be like, whoa,
Wakanda forever. Oh my God. I'm gushing.
Waller show. Oh my God, Amanda Waller.
Of all the projects, I doubt you would gush over that, but
well,
like
I have my thoughts on that one.
One thing I liked about this, because it's something that needed to be addressed with the DC universe, or rather the DC extended universe. It looks like going forward, we're dropping that acronym. We're not calling it extended universe anymore.
I think he said DCEU. I heard him.
No, he said DCU, DC universe. He made it a point to drop that damn E, because I was always wondering what that damn E was there for with the films. It's like, what's extended about this? This is a film series. Like, this is a film franchise. Like, what, the Marvel Cinematic Extended Universe? Like,
I guess he was getting at, you know, they would eventually incorporate TV, but to my knowledge, they only had one TV show that tied into the greater DCEU,
which was Peacemaker, right?
Right.
Right. So it looks like with James Gunn and Peter Safran at the helm of DC Studios, they're like, this is the DC universe, the DCU. I'm just glad that they're streamlining this nonsense. They're calling it the DCU. moving forward for their future properties. But like I was saying, I like how transparent they were with this, because that was needed. James Gunn literally went on for 6 minutes. Kevin Feige wishes that he could do something like this. James Gunn got on camera for like 6 straight minutes and explained each and every project and what its goal is, like when it's gonna release, what type of story it's trying to tell, if it's live action or a cartoon. Like, this was not like a big D23 presentation. I feel like it didn't need to be. I'm glad it was like this. He got straight to the point, and like, this is what we're looking forward to. And it's not even all of it. This is not even everything he has planned. He said this is just one segment.
This is all he could announce now, is what he said.
Right now. Exactly. So, setting the scene, James Gunn earlier today on, what is it, January 31st?
31st, yep.
Earlier on that date, he basically gave a whole spiel about what are the remaining projects that are outside of the DCU, in terms of, he didn't really have a role in it, but they were already in production before he got involved. So, for example, everyone's favorite, Shazam 2, or Shazam and the Fury of the Gods. That is set to come out in what, February or March? March. One of the movies that has been delayed multiple times, but it's confirmed it is coming in March. And James Gunn acknowledged, hey, this movie is in its own little not universe, but like Shazam has always acted on his own outside of the grand scheme of things, in terms of like the the major DC movie characters. Like, the Superman's never there, Batman's never there, it's just Shazam and his shenanigans. And again, that proves problematic, because you have Black Adam that came out in October, Shazam coming out in March, barely 6 months apart, and they have nothing to do with each other. No Black Adam and Shazam, no Shazam and Black Adam. James Gunn was needed in this studio. Just for that travesty alone, this needed to happen.
He definitely was throwing shade. He said, as you said, saying he's in his own little corner and has no other connectivity outside of some name drops. He's throwing shade, but he's right. He's not wrong.
And, this is coming out of, Zachary Levi, the guy who plays Shazam.
Yes.
He's been recently caught in some controversy within the last couple days.
I've seen.
He's been posting a lot of anti-vax tweets on Twitter, and people have been asking James, are you gonna recast Shazam? Are you gonna recast him? And he's like, guys, I can't control what the man says. Just, I let the movie's coming out either way. If we want to recast him, we will. But I can't control what he says. Just let him have his weird little episode on anti-vaccination. I just thought that was funny. So we have Shazam 2. Coming up afterwards is The Flash, which is supposed to be a bit of a reset, in James's own words, in terms of what exactly it's going to reset. If it's going to give birth to his DCU, we don't know, but he has acknowledged it as a reset. He further stated that The Flash is one of the greatest superhero films he has ever seen. And it's just going into that narrative of, my God, DC, where Ezra Miller can go on a murder spree next week, and DC will find some way to release this movie. They will not cancel it. They will not delete it from their servers. This thing is going to be released. Does James Gunn's words get you kind of interested in The Flash? Or not kind of interested. I imagine you were already interested, but are you now even more like, Jesus, man, this movie better be the magnum opus of everything DC ever?
Look, The Flash is just littered with I don't even know how to describe it, but the back and forth of, oh, it's coming out, oh, it's not coming out, has just dominated a lot of the DC conversation for the last 3 years. and then we see the downward spiral that is DC and WB, and yet this is the one thing that keeps poking its head above the water. This thing won't sink. And then he comes out and says it's one of the greatest films he's ever seen, one of the greatest superhero films he's ever seen. I've been interested. I'm more interested. And dare I say, I might have been spoiled a little bit due to toys, because again, that's what toys do nowadays.
Funko Pop.
They just spoil the shit out of movies. There's a lot of potential in this movie, apparently, despite whatever Ezra Miller might be doing out in the real world. They are still pushing this film. And if this is going to close out the DCEU and reset for the DCU and still be considered one of the greatest superhero films ever, then yeah, I'm going to see it regardless. I can cancel this fool and still watch this movie. No problem.
Well, you see, you mentioned about canceling Ezra. Apparently, DC has no interest in canceling Ezra. They have the door, and again, they've confirmed this. They have the door wide open for him to come back for future Flash projects or cameos, whatever, as long as Ezra seeks the help that Ezra needs. Right? It's like as long as they seek like therapy and whatever, Ezra is welcome back, which is insane because it's like, what is in this movie that they want this guy to keep coming back? To further go on that, James Gunn basically confirmed everyone, well, not everyone, but like Jason Momoa, Gal Gadot, and Ezra Miller, and I think there was one more in there.
Zachary Levi. They're all welcome to reprise their roles in his DCU moving forward. Now, we don't know if that means in terms of continuations of their characters from the movies that they already starred in, or if they want to reprise their roles as new versions of the characters in the DCU, right? So, like, if Gal Gadot comes back as Wonder Woman in the DCU with James Gunn, it might be a new version of Wonder Woman that we haven't experienced yet, if that makes sense. Right. It's just, it's just a really easy opportunity for them to be like, well, it's a reset. So if this character looks different, well, technically it's a different universe. Or they are played by the same actor, just in a different universe. Either scenario works in their favor.
Right. So we'll see how the Flash really changes the game for the DC cinematic universe.
Hopefully it comes out.
I would hope so. I mean, technically it's supposed to come out after Shazam 2, and that's in March. So I think right now it's like June, July for the Flash. June. So we'll see. After the Flash is Blue Beetle. James Gunn didn't say too much about Blue Beetle. He just basically said, yep, that's, Blue Beetle's going to come out as well this year. So stay tuned for that. And Aquaman 2 will close us out for 2023 for DC film projects. Funny enough, with Aquaman 2, we don't even have Aquaman 2 yet. They teased Aquaman 3 as well today, as if Aquaman 3 is pretty much greenlit, which is like, we don't even have the second movie yet. How are you teasing a third?
Well, given because Aquaman 2 also had a lot of pushbacks on its delays. Maybe this is all part of their plan, They say Aquaman 2 was a lingering project, one of the 4, but if it comes out after Flashpoint, it very much might be in the new DCU for all we know.
Aquaman 2 or 3?
Yeah, Aquaman 2. Aquaman 2. If it comes, I imagine anything that comes out after Flashpoint,
which is considered the reset.
In
his own words. In his own words.
Yeah. So with that said, Blue Beetle and Aquaman 2 very much might be, chronologically after the reset of Flashpoint. We don't know. They could, backtrack and just say this took place before Flashpoint, but given our chronological timeline in real time, it could be part of the reset, and it could be essentially the first major film post Flashpoint outside of Blue Beetle. So who knows? Who knows?
Could be. I think 2023 wraps up with Aquaman 2, and then from there is where James Gunn's projects begin. This is the 8 to 10 year plan that he has slated for the DCU, and it's considered phase 1 or chapter 1. You know, if you want to call it by the MCU terminology, it's phase 1, but he calls it chapter 1. The first chapter is called Gods and Monsters. And mind you, the projects he dropped today, they are not all the projects that he has slated for chapter 1. He has multiple other projects still, in development, but this is what he's allowed to talk on right now. So coming up first, I don't have a lot to say about this because I have no idea what the hell this even is. Creature Commandos is going to be the first part of the phase 1, part 1 of James Gunn's universe. It's going to be a TV animated series. And just to be clear on this, James Gunn made it very clear that these projects are all going to be intertwined together, almost to beyond the extent that even Marvel does it. Because, Marvel has its movies and then it has its shows that bleed into its movies. James Gunn is taking it a step further. He's saying our movies, our TV series, both live action and animated, and even video games are all going to intermingle together. So whenever you're playing whatever video game, we have no idea what they even have planned for that. But if you're playing a video game of Batman Revengeance or something, you can rest easy knowing, ooh, this is going to play into the film series at some point. Ooh.
Batman Revengeance, what a title. This excites me. All right.
This multimedia idea. Okay.
Yes. Games being tied into the greater whatever.
You can now go past Arkham.
Yeah, it would be. Or maybe the next Arkham title will literally tie into the universe.
Ooh.
I mean, that's cool. That's really cool when you think about it, because that's another layer of, I guess, the overall story you will have to engage with if you want to be fully invested. But when he mentions this show, Creatures and Gods, or what is it? Creature
Commandos,
which looks like commando versions of a lot of the not WB, but like the Monster universe. If you looked at the image, he also said that we will see characters make the jump from animation to live action.
Yes. Yeah.
And we will see vice versa, live action to animation. And he said they're not recasting. Whoever they cast, if let's say they cast based on, I guess they're looking at every aspect first. They're looking at who can embody this role as a vocal talent and as a live action talent.
Let's say Eddie Murphy gets casted as the leader of the Creature Commandos for the VA. He's also the live action counterpart.
Yeah.
You're going to see him in live action as well. That's cool. I like that.
I like that a lot. That's like big time commitment as far as kind of if you're really trying to solidify this connectivity, because as you said, with Marvel, for instance, the only animated project they have where it's like canon, I guess. What if, right? And
mind you, they have some upcoming animated projects that are supposedly canon, like
Marvel.
The right, isn't the Spider-Man heist year?
I guess so. That'll be their first step. But I guess what's really cool about this too, again, is like, I guess the actors have to be available to do the voice. Whoever they bring on, they're like, we're not gonna find a voice alike. You got to come into the studio, record your lines, and then we'll see you on set for day one of the. Oh, you're gonna appear in this film, So that's really that's cool.
This won't be like Tom Hanks voices Woody in the movies, but his brother voices
Jim Hanks.
Hanks. They get a Jim Hanks to voice him in the game.
Don't even get me started on that. That's one. I feel that's just high-key disrespectful. Hey, Jim. Hey, Jim. I can't make this Woody recording for a TV special. Can you cover? Oh, sure, Tom. I ain't gonna get into that. That's disrespect. The disrespect. But
Major.
again, see, this is bold and creative. This
You could
is
say
stuff
it's
that I like.
brave and bold.
Good one.
Whatever.
But again, I like stuff like this. This is new direction for storytelling, which James Gunn also said it's story first, and he kept kind of emphasizing that in that 6 minutes. He kept saying story above everything. It seems like it so far.
Right. He really emphasized that both in the beginning of his little clip, his video that he released, and also at the end. Story above everything. I don't know anything about Creature Commandos, but just knowing that it's in the hands of someone that really cares about the story he's going to tell, I'm excited about it. You know, I didn't know anything about Guardians of the Galaxy going into it, but I'm excited.
I was gonna say, James Gunn thrives with,
the Suicide Squad, another good example. The
perfect example.
Suicide Squad.
He thrives with these lesser known characters and these, these weirdos, these outsiders. I'm not worried. I'm honestly not worried. He said he wrote this one too.
Right.
I'm not worried. Yeah,
exactly. So Creature Commandos is up first. After Creature Commandos, we are getting Waller, the TV series based off of Amanda Waller. Viola Davis will be reprising her role, and the series is confirmed to be set between seasons 1 and 2 of Peacemaker. Oh, another series that James Gunn has credit to that was superb. Some of the writers behind the Waller series, maybe you recognize some of these names. Crystal Henry. You know, Henry
who they said they're bringing on from The Watchmen, right?
Right. Crystal Henry from Watchmen and Jeremy Carver from Doom Patrol.
So, I mean, I don't know them by that, but I know them by credit. Watchmen, okay. I'm sold on Watchmen. We're talking the HBO series, which I imagine they are. Good enough for me. That show was phenomenal. Did you watch The Watchmen?
I watched like an episode and I really liked it. I just didn't finish it. But I know it's good.
I'm telling you, it's phenomenal. So you got me there. I'm good with that. Doom Patrol. I hear a lot of people really enjoy Doom Patrol. Haven't really watched it myself. But it sounds like they got some good writers. And you're not gonna let go of Viola Davis. You're not gonna let her go.
You sold me on Viola Davis. You sold me on an entire TV series on just Amanda Waller. I'm so like. You may not like a Waller TV series. It's Viola Davis. It's Viola Davis.
I was listen when I said that I was just joking because it was.
Were you?
I mean, I was joking in terms of. I mean, this is not something I necessarily needed.
An Aunt May film.
Listen, but
Aunt May movie.
When you look at the grand scheme of it all, Viola Davis, Academy Award winning, Emmy Award winning, she about to be an EGOT winning. Viola Davis, you don't let that talent go. You have her. You don't let it go, So I get it. Center a whole show around her. The Viola Davis fans are going to storm. Okay. I get it. Smart move. It's a very smart move.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm hyped for it just based on the name alone. She's been the one consistent factor in all of these DC projects. Wasn't she in the original Suicide Squad? Right?
She was in Suicide Squad. And then she was in The Suicide Squad. She got that cameo in Peacemaker.
Right.
And she was in Black Adam, remember?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. She's been, we said it before, she's been the Nick Fury of the DC film universe.
The Nick Fury. She's probably not as on the moral high ground as Nick Fury, but.
No. But that constant tie-in into all these projects.
You don't let go of that talent.
You don't.
Yeah.
You don't. So from how this is looking like, it's looking like only those two series will be rounding us off in 2024. So you have Creature Commandos, you have Waller. There's no release dates, but based on the conversation that James Gunn had, it sounds like those are 2024 projects. I'm just throwing my guess in there because after Waller is what James Gunn considers the true beginning of the DCU. This is This is the Iron Man to him of the DCU, and that is Superman Legacy, the live action Superman film without Henry Cavill, set to release on July 11th, 2025. I mean, I'm looking forward to it just to see what James Gunn's take is on it. I know some people are still really salty about Henry Cavill kind of getting the axe. And it's funny because James Gunn came out and said, technically Henry Cavill was never fired. He was never casted to begin with. And just based on the story that they have, it's not like he doesn't like Henry Cavill. It's just on what his idea of this Superman film, which is supposed to take place with a younger Superman. So you're looking at maybe Clark Kent, maybe Smallville era Superman. This is a character that he felt Henry Cavill didn't fit. And I even though I like Henry Cavill as Superman, I can still respect James Gunn being that upfront and honest about it. And he's not completely axing Henry Cavill from future Superman stuff. He's just saying, for now, for this Superman Legacy film, it's not you, Henry. It's got to be someone else, whoever's getting casted. We don't know who's casted at this time.
I mean, from what we heard, I don't think Henry Cavill's too upset about it.
He is upset. I mean, he's not like salty. He's not like, like throwing shade at James or anything, but he did want to be back.
I mean, I think it's unfortunate. I think he finds it definitely unfortunate, but I don't think he's over here like, No.
No. Yeah.
But
like that.
Yeah, as you said, again, what they're really doing is just opening up the idea of multiverse, which everybody's now gonna be trying to do. Henry Cavill can definitely come back in a very Spider-Man No Way Home type of way, but yeah, they're going with a younger Superman. He's old. He's like in his 40s. It doesn't work. And again, that's not a discredit to Henry Cavill. I think he is a great Superman, but it was just Henry Cavill was dealt a bad hand, being a part of the disjointed efforts of the DCEU. And yeah, that's the way the cookie crumbled. So love to see him back. But big shoes to fill, whoever they're gonna cast as this young Superman. But I think this is a cool idea, a young Superman film that's not really been done before. As you said, the Smallville treatment. Hopefully it's not Smallville the series, just quickened. Hopefully there's some depth. Yeah, hopefully it's has some depth to it, but we'll see.
Right. No, for sure. And you mentioned multiverse as well. We still have films coming up that are outside of this template, right? Outside of the DCU. And I like that James Gunn was very clear on this. If there's a film or series, whatever, that is in no way tied to the DCU slate for the next decade, it is going to be considered an Elseworld project, an Elseworld property. Basically meaning it's set in its own universe, separated from everything. So for example, The Batman that came out last year, that would be considered an Elseworld film. The same thing with the upcoming The Batman Part 2. That will also be an Elseworld film. Same with Joker 2. I forgot the French name that they called it.
Don't worry.
But that's considered an Elseworld film. And the only other thing that fits under the category as well, I thought this thing was axed. I had no idea.
He recognizes the staying power.
But the Black Superman film.
Oh, well,
what did you think I was talking about?
Well, he mentioned Teen Titans Go.
Oh, Teen Titans Go. Yes,
Yeah.
he did mention Teen Titans Go as well.
But no, the Black Superman film written by Ta-Nehisi Coates is still alive.
That thing is not canceled. It is not axed. It hasn't stopped. It's going. It's going.
I guess.
So those will be Elseworld projects. So if there's something there's a reason why you don't like the DCU, there's still some outside projects that you can look forward to that will be considered Elseworld, like Teen Titans Go. Everyone loves Teen Titans Go.
I guess. Where's Young Justice?
No one cares. But speaking of television series like Young Justice, this has nothing to do with Young Justice. But our next big project after Superman Legacy, also in 2020, I believe this is also in 2025. Lanterns. We're getting a Green Lantern HBO live action television series, and this got me excited. People been wanting at least one of these to be focused on Jon Stewart, and just like, come on, man, give us Jon Stewart, give us Justice League Unlimited, damn it. And no, but this time, this television series is gonna be focusing on Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan. We're gonna get both Green Lanterns. That is so cool. I am excited. Grandmaster, how are you not going to your closet and changing your pants right now? Tell me.
Because I don't have a Green Lantern suit to change into, so that's why I'm not changing. But again, I mean, not again. You and I talked about this earlier. And I guess you don't believe me. The Green Lantern show idea has been floating around for years, and it's just taken forever to get off the ground. I am glad they're getting this off the ground. And the biggest debate was who's going to be the star. And it was
Ryan Reynolds.
Well, not the star, I mean, but like which Lantern is going to be the star?
Oh,
are we? And it was it Hal or was it John? And then in recent years, and when I say recent years, I'm talking like before they announced the downfall of DC, there was an idea that it was going to be some obscure Green Lanterns, and it was going to focus on a bunch of Green Lanterns, with neither one of them being at the forefront, and that didn't sit well with anybody. Ain't nobody was over here trying to watch the squirrel Green Lantern. There's a Green Lantern who's a squirrel. I forget his name.
Was it? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, what was he in DC Super Pets?
No. I was gonna say, wasn't there like a supposed cut of Green Lantern from Zack Snyder's cut? The Zack Snyder Justice League. There was like a version of the Snyder cut, the 3-hour film, that had Green Lantern in it, and I think it was Jon Stewart's Green Lantern that was supposed to appear, but they cut it out because they were like, nope, we're not going to touch it. And we're not going to do anything with it.
I do recall that. Yeah. I forget who they had casted too, but yes.
They did cast someone too. Like they filmed like a scene with this guy.
Right. Oh God. I do not remember who that was.
I don't remember the actor, but I feel like it was Jon Stewart, I think.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Jon Stewart. And then, they told him not to. They said, all right, do what you want. Do what you want. Don't include this.
You can keep Martian Manhunter. No one cares about him, but take out Green Lantern.
Wayne T. Carr. Carr is who they had casted. And I guess they really try to shut it out.
Actually, I think there's a deleted scene that you can actually see. Like you can see the scene of Green Lantern coming down.
I think there's
Batman or something.
Well, I'm looking at this photo right now. It looks pretty good. Like, it doesn't look fan made, which is it's unfortunate. Unfortunate. A lot of people think there's a lot of erasure of Jon Stewart going on, and us being kids who predominantly grew up in the 2000s. For me, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jon Stewart was my first Green Lantern.
That was my first Green Lantern. Like, that was... maybe I'm biased because it was my first. He's my preferred Green Lantern. I like Jon Stewart. He's cool. I like him.
Love Jon Stewart. I mean, I guess I remember...
Hal Jordan's cool, too. I like
Hal
Jon.
It's cool. Yes, but it was like, I mean, for me... as an African American looking at Jon Stewart again, that's representation. That was great.
That was your
cool.
That was your Leo moment. That's me.
I mean, I wasn't like that's me, but I was like, ooh, I don't got to be Batman anymore. I can be John Stewart. But the fact that they chose both of them, I think it's a smart move. I think it's cool. I think you're gonna appease a lot of fans using both.
Right.
Because again, the concept of Green Lantern is really never been about really just one. They all come into
Lantern Corps.
It's the core, and then it's also they all became lanterns for reasons. It was like Hal was like off doing some big mission, and they said, "Shit, no one's protecting Earth. Find a new carrier." And then it found John, and then it found guys like Guy Gardner, and then it found guys like Kyle Rayner, and then it found women like Jessica Reyes. There was a reason to have multiple lanterns, so I don't see a problem with a show featuring the two most prominent Green Lanterns. Makes sense to me.
Are you familiar with the show True Detective?
All right, so I never watched True Detective. Hooper TV, I think, can talk on True Detective more. When he says it's gonna be a True Detective show, True Detective is considered one of the greatest shows of all time right now. When I say that, I think specifically they're talking about season 1, which features Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson, where in that show it goes back and forth between two time periods as they try to figure out this mystery that transcends a couple of decades. Right. I don't know if they're gonna take it that route, but I like the idea that if they're going for this detective mystery field, because at the end of the day, the Lanterns are indeed cops. They're space patrol.
He did describe it as like a space cop type of show. Like they'll be patrolling, Yeah. It's their job. It's their territory.
I like that. I honestly like that. I feel I like that because that's a different take on the superhero genre that you don't see often, where I
can't even see a comparison that you can make.
Right.
That says, oh, I mean, they've done this before. Like they haven't. They haven't.
Exactly. So again, I like ideas like this. Now I do say this, there's a lot of not controversy, but like, the idea of policing and cops. Right. I think this is a very good opportunity to kind of explore some of that semblance, but still keep it in the realm of superheroism.
Right.
So I think that, I really do trust James Gunn. He has not let me down thus far. I think
he has not given me a reason.
Exactly.
Until he does, I can't say, oh no, I don't know about this one. I don't know.
Right. Exactly. I may not be like super hyped about these projects, but I'm hyped into kind of the creative thinking that goes into them and the concepts. Yes. So I think we'll get a layered story where it's kind of reflective to our society, and then it's just cool that we got these lanterns, and it's about damn time. Jesus.
Yes, finally. John, come home. But yeah, in terms of like just a general story, all James Gunn basically said was that this, there's gonna be like a terrifying mystery going on for the Green Lantern show, and it's going to tie into the overarching story of the DCU. So this is going to be like your Infinity Stone hunt or your Thanos level threat. You're going to have an idea watching the Lantern show, like this is the big game. This is what we're going to build towards our end game or our Infinity War, whatever the equivalent is in the DCU. So that's what we'll get in Green Lantern. So that as well makes me excited in terms of plot. So that'll be neat. That'll be neat. After Lanterns, this is where I'm kind of like, I'm shrugging my shoulders a little bit. I'm like, what is this? The Authority. Live action film. Listen, I know we have some people in the audience that are DC nuts, and maybe you guys recognize that name. If you do, let us know in the comments down below who they are. Help us. Basic understanding of how James Gunn explained it. They are superheroes that think the world is broken and they want to fix it by any means necessary. So that kind of sounds a little corrupt in a lot of ways, like, by any means necessary. definitely an interesting take. I don't know if you've ever seen that animated film. Oh God, it was literally one of the best animated films of the DC universe. It's it's the one with Owlman. You know Owlman?
Oh, Crisis on Two Earths.
Crisis on, I was gonna say Crisis on Infinite Earths, but I know it's not Infinite Earths. But right, Crisis on Two Earths. It kind of sounds like that a little. Well, like in terms of, I forget what the Justice League equivalent was in that movie, but basically
God, I don't remember.
Owlman's Justice League, his Justice League, they were kind of corrupt. They had this bastardized view of what justice should be. And so the Authority, from the brief description that James Gunn gave, it kind of sounds like that a little bit. They just sound like these heroes that have this twisted way of morality and justice, and we're going to see some darker sides to the DCU. I mean, a name titled The Authority, I would think they probably are messed up a little bit.
Ooh, and they probably gonna abuse that authority. I can see
very,
I can see it.
So that's one of the ones. It's like, I don't know anything about them, but we'll see. It's a live action film coming after the Lantern TV series.
This is cool. Real quick, with regards to the Authority, I see some big names have been tied to some Authority projects, like Mark Miller. If you're familiar with Mark Miller, Kick-Ass, Wanted, Kingsman. He's done
tied to the film.
Well, he's done some good runs with the Authority. So if they adapt one of his stories, I think that's
okay.
That's another kind of trustworthy point.
That's nice. Okay, maybe draw inspiration from that, so that'll be neat. After the Authority film, we have Paradise Lost. That's going to be a live action television series. It's going to be based off of Paradise Island, aka, I butchered this name all the time. Terra.
Oh, stop it! Stop!
Terra.
Themyscira.
Oh, like mascara.
Yeah, Themyscira. There you go. Come on.
Them mascaras. That's how I remember it.
I guess because they're all women.
This is going to be a series based off of the island of women that, the Amazonians, basically, from Wonder Woman's people. James Gunn confirmed with this one. This and this is very interesting because this again ties back into the DC EU before his involvement. Apparently, this television series is going to take place before the events of Wonder Woman 1 and 2. So in this DCU, apparently these other films still occur. They still happen, but moving forward in terms of like present and future, he's not going to tie too much back into that. But for this show, because it's in the past, it will take place before the first two Wonder Woman movies. And he described it as Game of Thrones, but for DC. Very interesting choice of words, because I want to know what in the hell does he mean by that? Does he mean the political, games from Game of Thrones? Does he mean the brutality from Game of Thrones? Like, what does he mean by that?
He could also mean, multiple kind of stories and characters going on simultaneously that eventually converge on each other. I have no idea what he really means, but I do find this very interesting given kind of where we are at with Wonder Woman and,
not in a good place.
Well, I mean, as you earlier said, they all been invited to reprise their roles. But to my understanding, Wonder Woman 3 is not in the talks at all, according to
not.
You remember when Patty Jenkins, the director, came out and said whatever. So yeah, it's interesting. I guess they're keeping alive Gal Gadot, and again, it's a reset. So again, you could play with these characters, you could play with the actors behind it, and I guess just go at your own pace and your own story. But it seems they're keeping some stuff, they're just reworking it. So very interesting.
Very interesting stuff. I mean, we'll wait and see what more info we have on that. All we know is that it's a show based off the Amazonians. We don't know if Wonder Woman is in it. She might be. But we'll see. We'll see as time goes on. This one I feel like people are going to be really talking about right now, because this will create certain confusion. So we have an upcoming film after Paradise Lost called The Brave and the Bold. This is James Gunn's live action Batman film. It's going to be, but it's not titled Batman, The Brave and the Bold. It is just titled The Brave and the Bold. But it will be starring live action Batman and everyone's favorite lovable assassin, Damian Wayne. For those that don't know, Damian Wayne is depending on which one you're counting, he's like the 4th or 5th Robin in the lineup of Robins, and he's Bruce Wayne's son. So that'll be an interesting take. This is based off of Grant Morrison's Batman run and of the Batman comics, and apparently Damian Wayne is James Gunn's favorite Robin. So I think that's going to come with a lot of care on how this is done, because this comes with a big package, right? Damian Wayne has not seen a live action film ever, period. I don't know about the shows, because the shows are hella mid, like with the CW and whatever they do.
Oh, he's not appeared on any CW. No,
I feel like if he hasn't appeared in CW, I feel like he hasn't appeared at all live action.
The most I could say live action wise, nothing live action. He has appeared in some of the animated works,
yes,
as in the animated films, and I know he's in the Harley Quinn show. I know that much. Animation has been his strict, outside of comics, that's been his strict appearance. He has appeared in Injustice, the fighting game, Damian Wayne, but that's it. No live action. Not only that, this is going to be the first film featuring a live action Robin since Batman and Robin. No. What about Joseph Gordon? No.
I don't count that. No, but go ahead.
Joking.
Go ahead.
I'm
what about?
Completely joking. I'm completely joking. I'm completely joking.
Keep our fans, entertained. What?
Oh, okay. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, his John Blake character. His first actual name is Robin in The Dark Knight Rises. Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight Rises. This is does that not count as a Robin?
Stupid.
All right, moving on. It's a joke. Yes, this is the first live action Robin proper since Chris O'Donnell's final run as Robin in the commercially successful but critically panned Batman and Robin.
Disgusting.
Crazy. That it took this long.
And we talked about it earlier too. I think the reason why it's taken this long, without these WB executives and DC executives, they're very, kind of, they don't think outside the box. They kind of have like tunnel vision when it comes to these things. They look at the critical panning of Batman and Robin, instead of looking at all the things that film did wrong, they instead look at, wait a minute, Robin's in this movie. Everyone liked the Bat credit card.
The Bat nipples too. That was a win, right?
That was Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy.
And the Mr. Freeze puns. Those were punny, right?
Those were wins. Those were W's. Take the W. Take the W. Take the W.
Why did we fail?
Robin.
No more Robin.
No more Robin.
From here on out, Chris Nolan, you can do whatever the hell you want with this Batman character. No Robin.
Well, can I have someone named Robin? No.
Well, it's just his first name. All right, first name's good. No costume.
They probably threw in the no costume. No costume. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Zach, did you want to put a Robin in your film? I actually did. I have a lot of actually well thought out plans for a Robin and a Batman family. You can only kill him. You can only kill him.
Can I at least show the death of Jason Todd? Nope, can't do it. Only imply. Show the costume. That's it.
Yep.
That's it. Finally, it took James Gunn to stick his foot in DC's door and be like, stop it. Stop it. Stop being children. Robin can be great. Just do it right.
They all can be great. They all
of them.
can be
Damian, Jason, Dick Grayson, all of them have qualities. I'm glad they're going with Damian because we never had a Damian Wayne live action ever.
I think with just Damian compared to the rest of them, it's just more fun.
More
from a
fun.
storytelling standpoint,
Yeah.
because relatively the rest of the Robins, it's like there a lot of them are carbon copies with some minor few details in their backgrounds and how they portray themselves as Robin, but they're essentially orphan. Bruce takes them in, they become a Robin, and then there's certain things that they differentiate. But as you said, this is his son. That's a lot more fun to play with. And not to mention, I'll tell you, because James Gunn, he said this is the start of the Bat family in the DCU.
Family. Right,
this does not mean Dick Grayson cannot appear in this film.
He might appear, maybe.
This does not mean Tim Drake cannot appear in this film. This does not mean no Robins have come before, and dare I say, Damian's story is even greater with the idea that there were Robins before him.
Yes, the animated films that tackle that issue, like how did the other Robins behave? Like why did Dick Grayson become Nightwing? How did Jason die under your watch? You're a loser, father.
Absolutely. The fact that there are
it writes itself.
It writes itself. It's just what am I trying to say? Their existence furthers the story with Bruce and Damian, because
right
here he's adopted children. Not only the Robins, there's the Batgirls and spoilers and all that jazz, but here's his actual son, and yet he's kind of low-key failing.
Right.
This is what I wanted. I've been wanting this Batman film for a long time.
No, you don't. You want the Batman. You want 3 hours.
No. And again, as you said too, this might confuse audiences because we're getting there. I think they're both slated around the same time.
Right. These are 2 different projects. There's The Batman. Matt Reeves is the Batman Part 2. And there is The Brave and the Bold. 2 different Batmans. One is Elseworld, which is The Batman. And the other is in James Gunn's continuity for the DCU, which is Brave and the Bold. So,
pick your poison.
Pick your poison. No, choose your nectar. What the hell is that? These are going to be both great films.
I really hope so. Because it again, have we had 2 Batman simultaneously?
Never, ever.
Okay.
Like you mean live action, right?
Yeah, like at the same time.
Never. Like I can't imagine, because you run the risk of just confusing people. Like
I mean, we were close. Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck is still going to be in The Flash, and had it came out last year, we would have had Robert Pattinson and Ben Affleck in the same year.
I think because both of those films kept getting pushed, the Batman and The Flash, to the point where you did have that confusion where you have one appearing before the other. I think in a perfect world, if these films released on the date they were supposed to, you wouldn't have them coming out at roughly the same time. Maybe you have the Batman coming out like a year later or even 2 years later after The Flash. The Flash has been done for like 2 years already.
Yeah, no, it has. It really has. People have watched the whole movie.
James Gunn has watched the whole movie. He's like, "Oh my God, you guys are not ready. You're not ready."
It's out of post. They finished editing. They finished the graphics. It's done.
It's just there on a server, just waiting. So I'm excited for this. Kind of again conceptually, Damian Wayne, Bat Family. This is gonna be good. I have a really good feeling this is gonna be good.
Casting matters.
Casting
Cast
matters.
right.
Cast who?
Cast right.
Cast right. We'll see. No casting calls yet on this, but we'll see. Outside of the Batman, outside of Brave and the Bold, after this film, we have a Booster Gold live action show. This I kind of find funny. Do you remember Booster Gold from the DC animated?
I do. Specifically the episode of Justice League Unlimited. Yes, I recall.
Wasn't his gimmick like he was pretending that he was from the future or something?
No, he is from the future. He literally sucks as a hero in the future and comes to the past to seek fame and fortune.
Okay.
Or the future is just saturated with so much better heroes that he gets no shine.
And he has like a robot companion like that floats next to him. Is that?
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but funny little wisecracking dude.
Okay. I'm only recalling from like the original.
Listen, Booster Gold fits right up James Gunn's type of comedy. He's gonna have a field day with Booster Gold.
This is gonna be good. This is gonna be one of the funniest shows. Like I'm thinking of with what he did with the hero like Peacemaker. Like that's how I'm looking at it as. Rewind back to like what 2020, 20 or 19, whatever. You hear him saying we're gonna do a show on Peacemaker. You're gonna be like, who the hell is Peacemaker? Who? Yeah. Peace who? And look what happened. That one of the funniest superhero series ever. Booster Gold, yeah, fits
we
right
even
up
called it probably like top tier of the DCEU.
Yes.
Of the entirety, better than Wonder Woman, better than Aquaman, better than
easily
all them things. Peacemaker is like top tier.
It's hilarious. Booster Gold. I remember this guy being a clown in Justice League.
Just thought of. Well, he spun straw into gold with Peacemaker, and here we are. Here we are. Get it? Booster Gold. He's now got gold. Whatever. Move.
Pathetic.
Yeah. Sure.
So that'll be cool. He described it as a superhero story of imposter syndrome on an HBO Max series. So that's all we got on Booster Gold, but still keep your eyes out for that. We also have a Supergirl movie, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. I said Supergirl series, Supergirl movie.
Supergirl movie, yep.
Supergirl movie, Woman of Tomorrow. This will be a bit of a different take a little bit on Supergirl. Clark Kent was raised on Earth by loving mother and father in Kansas. This version of Supergirl, though, will be raised on a random chunk of Krypton that is floating in space. So she's going to be jaded in a way. She's going to have like no social skills. I don't know how she's going to be when she gets to Earth. So that'll be an interesting take on Supergirl. I know there's the Supergirl TV series on CW. I know some people really liked it and some people really didn't, and then it just got worse.
It's like, I think it's had a really strong beginning and over time it got worse. Don't forget though, I don't know if they're casting the same. I really hope they do because I'm hearing good things.
From CW?
Well, no, not CW, but Supergirl's going to appear in Flash.
Oh yes, I did hear about that. Yeah. You're right.
I think you even can see her in that. Remember that teaser that had dropped in like Comic-Con? No, you don't.
For the Flash movie?
Yeah, you remember that brief Flash teaser that they had?
I don't think I saw. Yeah, I didn't see Supergirl in it, or at least I don't recall seeing Supergirl.
Well, she doesn't look like Supergirl per se because
maybe that's why then.
She's not blonde. She's played by Sasha Calle.
Okay.
She I don't know. Oh, she's Colombian. She's Colombian. So they made her Latina. So that was a big deal. People were like, "Oh, cool, Latina representation as Supergirl." And I heard, like, through the grapevine, she's pretty good in Flash as Supergirl. So I imagine, again, if the idea is a lot of these people can reprise their roles, maybe we'll see her as the Supergirl of this film.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if they're trying to build off of what they already got, you know, that's what. Yeah. I don't know.
No, I mean, they could. James Gunn did say that, you know, certain characters, like what we mentioned earlier, like Gal Gadot, Ezra Miller, God forbid, and, you know, Zachary Levi, you know, these actors can come back and reprise their roles for these characters. Now, how far out he's willing to extend that hand in terms of, yes, you know, we mentioned the heavy hitters like Flash, Shazam, Wonder Woman, but you as well can reprise your role as this character, like Supergirl or someone else or whoever. James Gunn made it clear that he won't have multiple people playing different roles. And I feel like there's some confusion in that, because it was heavily implied like a couple months ago that Jason Momoa was going to be playing Lobo, even though he plays Aquaman. And it's like, how is that going to work? So, but James Gunn said, nope, no one's playing more than one role. We're not doing it. So I guess we'll see how they handle that. But we'll see. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. I would like to see a Supergirl film rather than a CW show. So I am interested in that. I am definitely interested in that. And the last project on James Gunn's slate is Swamp Thing. This is very interesting because this film, it's a live action film, and it will be a different tone, and it is going for horror themes. Like, it'll be a horror-esque film that still ties back into the DCU in some way, but in terms of the tone and the themes, it is going to be completely different from the rest of the films and series that precede it. So that's interesting. You know, I know the MCU claims that Multiverse of Madness was supposed to be horror-esque. I wasn't spooked with Multiverse of Madness. There were weird scenes, I guess. There was a minor body horror a la Sam Raimi, but I trust James Gunn when he's saying this is going to be a horror type film. I expect to be, ooh, ew, that looks, oh man, what's going on here? Or maybe I am going to be spooked from Swamp Thing in theaters. Maybe. Who knows? The theme is what interests me.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's totally fine. I guess, you know, I'm starting to notice a trend. You know, we talked about Supergirl, you know, and she had that show on CW, and now they're giving her the film treatment. Swamp Thing. Did you know Swamp Thing had a show?
Yeah, he had, yes.
2019.
I heard it aired like a few episodes and it got canceled, didn't it?
I think this was, oh yeah, that's right. So, do you remember DC Universe, that failed attempt at DC trying to make a streaming?
I remember the only time I ever used that was when we watched the premiere episode for Titans.
Oh wow, throwing it back. Wow.
Yes, that was the one time I used it.
Damn, I do remember. I mean, I definitely used it to watch season 3 of Young Justice, but either way, Swamp Thing had its start on the DC Universe, and then I think it aired its final episodes on CW. So now it seems like they're taking a lot of their failed products and giving them another. I mean, Supergirl wasn't a failure. It definitely ran for like whatever 6, 7 seasons. It ran
for a while, yeah.
Right, and it definitely has a fan base for sure. Swamp Thing got the axe after 1 season, 10 episodes. So it seems like they're trying to rewrite a lot of the things that didn't work or didn't jump at fans, and that's a cool way to go ahead and tackle it. I think Swamp Thing too is a good character to kind of highlight if you're trying to get that horror vibe. But Swamp Thing definitely is going to introduce or open the door to say Justice League Dark, with the horror-esque
right, kind of like the Constantine vibes a little bit.
Constantine is one of them, so it's like Constantine, Swamp Thing, Dead Man, whoever else. So hey, if they can knock it out the park, I mean, I don't think I need to jump out of my seat. Just give me the scare, like, just give me a good story with this horror element. You can have good stories that don't have to necessarily, make you jump out of your seat. Just have that element and deliver. So very interesting choice, sure. Didn't see it coming. Not really necessarily excited, but if they can deliver, I'll definitely tune in.
For sure. And that kind of rounds out what James Gunn revealed so far for the DC slate. This is not everything with part 1 of Gods and Monsters. This is just a segment of it, which is crazy because it feels like there's a lot of things, there's a lot of projects in here, but this is not even everything that's coming out for part 1. So James Gunn still has stuff under his belt for the DCU for, I guess phase 1. There was one thing that we kind of glossed over. It has nothing to do with the DCU. It kind of doubled back to Batgirl. I don't know if you remember the fiasco with Batgirl.
Oh God, sure. Let's talk about it. Talk about it.
So, we all know Batgirl was, I think, completed for the most part. It was in, I think, post-production, or it was already done for the most part. And DC, when it was going through its internal shifting, whatever you want to call it, it was axing multiple projects. There were fears of like shows, movies, just getting the chopper. Batgirl, the movie, was one of them. And it's funny because, it's not funny that it got axed, but there's humor in this in a way because, for example, when the film got axed, all the creators that were behind the film, they were like, "Oh man, this film was so good, you guys were gonna love it." Batgirl and Gotham City and Batman, and they were really hyping it up. They were like, this was the next big thing, but you couldn't see it because WB, DC, they're like, nope, cut it, don't care, don't release it, get a tax write-off for it. So they did that, right? And this got brought into conversation today again. Peter Safran, the guy that's also with James Gunn and spearheading the DCU, he decided to throw everyone under the bus that was involved with Batgirl. And he basically said Batgirl was not releasable. He said that he thought David Zaslav and the team made a very bold and courageous decision to cancel it because it would have hurt DC. Peter, in the nicest way possible, is saying this movie was straight ass. You never see someone high up the ladder for like a corporation, a business. They never go this far to throw one of their projects under the bus like that. It makes me believe this man has to be telling the truth. He has to be telling the truth. This movie must have been bad. I still would have loved to see it, but it must have been bad. That's insane. It would have hurt DC. Nah, I don't know how you feel about it, but that to me was just, it was almost comedic. Like I could not believe this man just said that.
I can only think, one, what he said was rude as fuck.
Yes, it was very disrespectful to everyone that worked on that project.
I am sure there was a better way to say that this movie could not be released, nor did they even have to address it.
Yeah, why even bring it up? That's my question. There is no Batgirl tie-in project with the DCU. Why do they have to bring up the canceled Batgirl project? I just thought that added to the comedy. No one asked for it, but they decided to mention it.
What I imagine is that maybe the movie wasn't ass, but what I imagine is just the movie doesn't make a lot of sense. And when I say that based on what I know about the film, you know, Leslie Grace from In the Heights fame is playing Batgirl. Sure, fine. J.K. Simmons is playing Commissioner Gordon, which would mean we are set in the universe. At least to my base knowledge, if J.K. Simmons is your Gordon, we're in the same universe as the Snyderverse, because J.K. Simmons was Commissioner Gordon in Justice League. All right. However, Michael Keaton is here as Batman.
Right, he was. Yeah, they filmed and did all his shots already.
And unless this is a direct tie-in to Flashpoint, which Michael Keaton is also appearing as Batman, where a film like Flashpoint can make sense that Michael Keaton is appearing as Batman due to the nature of multiverse and timeline changing. Why the hell is he in this Batgirl movie? You know, it just sounds confusing. That movie could have very much worked on its own. No tie-ins, no greater expansion. Just this is Batgirl. Look who's here. Here's the movie. But whatever they got planned, it probably doesn't fit. They look at the old plan and be like, how the fuck did they think this was going to fit?
What were you thinking?
Brian's like, hello? Who's in charge here? Let me talk to somebody. Let me talk to whoever
David,
came up with this.
This was you? Get out.
David,
out.
You approved this, David? David?
No, I canceled it. That was good. Oh, okay, good. But you greenlit it to begin with. Get out.
Goodbye.
Get out.
Absolutely. That's speculation. This is what I see. This is what I get from reading what's going on here. I mean, it's very unfortunate. I hope, honestly, as we talked about, I hope it's still in someone's basement or someone's attic. They got it off the servers. They got it on a flash drive. There's a that's a skit right there. There's a flash drive. We got to get this flash drive out to the public and not let DC try to stop us. It's unfortunate, but I would like to actually see what everybody was freaking out about.
It's more out of curiosity. I don't think this thing was gonna be good, but I do want to see it. I still want to see it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, outside of that, you know, kind of just run of the mill, you know, some updates on actors and everything that we already covered. But that pretty much covers the DCU slate for the next 8 to 10 years. If you guys couldn't tell, for the most part, I can speak for myself. I'm excited. The Grandmaster claims to be excited, but I'm excited.
I'm interested.
I'm interested. When's this Quantumania come out already?
Oh my gosh. Oh boy. I'm invested enough.
I think
I'm invested enough.
I think you have enough familiarity in here to kind of, you know, you have your heavy hitters. You have your Supermans. You have your Batmans in this. You have your Flash whenever that comes out. But you still have some obscure stuff where you're like, it's not what I would have asked for, but just from what I'm hearing on the conceptual level, this sounds very interesting. Amanda Waller series? I wouldn't have asked for that, but set between seasons 1 and 2, and it's going to be from the Doom Patrol and Watchmen showrunners. Okay, sure. Yeah, that sounds nice. And you got, you know, Swamp Thing. You got, you know, Lanterns. Well, we were asking for a Green Lantern something for years, but we're getting a show, and we're getting both main characters that we want in a Green Lantern series. So this slate, maybe I'm being too optimistic, or maybe I've been burned the hell out from just the garbage DC has given us in live action for the last 10 years.
Garbage. You heard it first. He said it. Dr. Mondo, get him.
It's in garbage for the most
Chris,
part.
get him. Get him.
This right here, this DCU slate, this has me excited. Not just, I wonder what they'll do with it. No, this has me hyped. I can't wait for any of these projects to come out. So we'll see. We got nothing here in terms of video games, even though he's confirmed there are video games that are going to tie into this. We have the upcoming Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League coming out from Rocksteady Studios. I doubt that is going to tie in any way, but seeing as how that game keeps getting pushed out further and further and further out, maybe James Gunn might be like, hey, throw in a multiverse thing right here. Throw in a mention so that we could tie this back in at some point. They could do that. They could do that. Any final thoughts or defenses for the masses that you want to say so that they know you're not just a Marvel shill, Grandmasters, that they know the DCU is you're here for it. You're on the gravy train.
Listen, I'm gonna say this again. On some of these projects, I'm very much interested in. I'm definitely interested in Brave and the Bold and a Bat Family. I'm interested in Flash. See what the fuck is going on. And again, a lot of ideas that James Gunn is throwing out there sound good to me. A universe that connects animated projects, live action, and even video games. That is new. That is unique. I like that. A Green Lantern show, as you said. I like that. Yeah, I like a lot of what he has to say. This is not all he has to say. I notice a lack of women-led films. We didn't get a lot of those. We got Paradise Lost, Supergirl. I think so those were the only two that have been mentioned in this slate.
That's good.
Say what?
That's good. Well, are you saying?
I want more. I want more.
Is there a particular character that you're thinking of?
Well, again, if they're digging up the bottom of the barrel to make an authority
Amanda Waller
film,
as well.
Amanda Waller's 3. If they digging up
give me something.
If they digging at the bottom of the barrel to pull out the authority film, I think we can get some more. But I mean, who knows? We haven't heard any casting. But again, I think there's a lot of characters we can see that would be, fun to explore and different outside of, our generic 7 Justice League members. So I'd like to see who they choose to spotlight next.
DC world is larger than just the Justice League.
Correct. So, I like to see more diverse roles, more diverse characters. Take a shot in the dark like they did with Shang-Chi, You see what comes out on the other end. But I can overall say, and god dang, I don't want a black Superman. Give me Static. Give me Black Lightning.
Where's Static Shock? Wait, what's the phrase? But you never had Black Lightning before.
That's I just realized I said Static Shock and Black Lightning, whose power base and race and background are pretty much the same. But yes, that is the line Black Lightning says in Young Justice. Give me Batman Beyond, man. Come on, man.
Well, you know what? I trust in James to give us that. I trust in
honestly,
James.
I do too. Funny enough, I really do.
Funny enough again. There was a Batman Beyond film that was canceled recently, with Michael Keaton. The rumored, this man is always tied to these projects. The rumored Michael Keaton Batman film that he was supposed to star in, which I imagine he would play an older Bruce Wayne. It was reportedly a Batman Beyond film. Heartbreaking.
Would have loved that. That is so perfect.
But maybe James Gunn saw that and he's like, I can do it better.
Sure.
Kill this one.
Which it's crazy too. James Gunn is kind of writing a lot of these projects. He's gonna be credited as a writer. So sure, I'm with it. I'm for it. Again, a lot of what has been given and shown does not upset me. It interests me. and I like the thinking behind it. So therefore, I would love to see more and what is to come of this. Again, he's got more to announce in chapter 1. This is all he could announce now. So I'm awaiting what more he's got to say. And let's finish out these 4 projects this year, and let's keep it moving.
I agree. As we mentioned, folks, the hierarchy of the DCU is shifting. It's
not because of Black Adam.
Not because of Black Adam.
But it's shifting.
It is shifting for real this time. But yeah, let us know what you all think about these projects down below. What are you most excited for? Is there something that James Gunn announced that you're like, oh man, I'm so glad that he's doing this? Or is there a project that you kind of wished he did announce and maybe you think it's saved for the latter half of phase 1, or maybe he has it saving up for phase 2? Again, this is a well thought out plan where DC just didn't have anything before, and they were just from how you could tell the films were going, they were just going through the motions. They had no direction. They were just like, all right, I guess we'll do a Shazam 2. I guess we'll do a Wonder Woman 2. Not really building up to anything. This feels like a universe, and I'm excited. James Gunn, the comparison might not be there yet, but he's seeming a lot like the Kevin Feige of this DC universe as that single spearhead to move it along. Whether it's a success or not, we will have to wait and see. We got some projects coming up this year that we have to go and see, for better or worse, to see what the last portion of the DCEU has to offer. But yeah, let us know what you all think down below wherever you're listening to us on, whether it be Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Twitter, Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, at the Yonko Table. Let us know your thoughts down below. And if you want to see our gaming side, hell, we might play some DC games very soon. Check out at DrJaceAttorney down below. But with that, everyone, I'm your Yonko host, Dr. Jace Attorney, fellow Yonko Grandmaster Hoop, signing off. Take care.